Prometheus did not want to live amongst the clouds on Mount Olympus. He was too busy for that. While the gods were spending their time in idleness, drinking nectar and eating ambrosia, he was planning how to make the world wiser and better than it had ever been before. So instead of living on Olympus, Prometheus went out amongst men to live with them and help them, and he quickly noticed that they were no longer happy as they had been during the golden days when Kronos, the Titan, was king. He found them living in caves and in holes of the earth, shivering with the cold because there was no fire, dying of starvation, hunted by wild beasts by one another, the most miserable of all living creatures.
If they only had fire, they could at least warm themselves and cook their food, and after a while they could learn to make tools and build themselves houses. Without fire, they are worse off than the beasts.
Prometheus went boldly to Zeus and begged him to give fire to the people, so they might have a little comfort through the long dreary months of winter.
I will not one spark will I share with them, for if men had fire they might become strong and wise like us, and after a while they would drive us out of our kingdom. Besides, fire is a dangerous tool and they are too poor and ignorant to be trusted with it. It is better that we on Mount Olympus rule the world without threat so all can be happy.
Prometheus didn't answer, but he had set his heart on helping mankind, and he did not give up. As he was walking by the seashore, he found a tall stalk of fennel. He broke it off and then saw that its hollow center was filled with a dry, soft substance which would burn slowly and stay alight for a long time. He carried the stalk with him as he began a long journey to the top of Mount Olympus. And with that thought, he snuck quietly into Zeus' domain and stole a spark from Zeus' own lightning bolt. Prometheus touched the end of the long reed to the spark, and the dry substance within caught on fire and burned slowly. Prometheus hurried back to his own land, carrying with him his precious spark hidden in the hollow center of the plant. When he reached home, he called some of the shivering people from their caves and built a fire for them. Men and women gathered round the fire and were warm and happy, and thankful to Prometheus for the wonderful gift which he had brought to them. One chilly winter evening, Zeus gazed down from Mount Olympus and noticed to realize that Prometheus had disobeyed him and given fire to men. Zeus was very angry and ordered that Prometheus be chained to the side of a mountain to suffer there for all eternity. One day, while Prometheus was serving his punishment for his kindness toward man, he had a strange visitor. The visitor looked like a cow, but had the voice of a girl who seemed mad with misery. As the visitor, Io, approached, Prometheus recognized the visitor. He knew her story and he spoke her name. When Io found out that the person chained to a rock with unbreakable adamite chains was Prometheus, they started to talk to each other. Prometheus told Io his story, and Io told him why she, once a princess and a happy girl, was turned into a cow by Zeus. After Zeus fell in love with Io, Hera grew jealous. When Hera found out about their relationship, Zeus tried to hide himself and Io by wrapping a cloud around the earth. He hoped that this cloud would be so thick that it would leave the place in darkness. But Hera knew why this odd occurrence was happening. As Hera called off the cloud, Zeus quickly transformed Io into a cow. He claimed that the cow had been born from the earth. Hera did not believe this, and she made Zeus give the cow to her. Zeus reluctantly handed Io, in the form of a cow, to Hera, who had a plan to keep her away from Zeus. She handed Io into the charge of Argus. Since he had 100 eyes, he was able to sleep with some of his eyes and guard Io with the rest. Zeus, unable to withstand Io's misery, told Hermes to kill Argus. Hermes, knowing of Argus' abilities, bored Argus with stories and music. When Argus' eyes finally fell asleep, Hermes killed him, but not before Hera took his eyes and placed them on her favorite bird, the peacock. Io thought she was free, but once again Hera sent the Godfly to drive Io into madness. Prometheus tried to comfort Io, but he could only tell her to look to the future. After speaking to Prometheus, Io wandered on. One part of the sea which she wandered through was named after her, but real consolation came when she reached the Nile. There, Zeus returned her to human form. Prometheus stayed, thinking of the future, happy in the knowledge that he had given fire to men, until he was one day rescued by Hercules, the mortal son of Zeus, and a descendant of Io.